Students, in this session, we will discuss about selection of parting line for casting a product. Shown here is a pulley which has got 3 steps. A pulley is a cylindrical component which is having 3 steps. We want to choose a proper parting line to cast this component. The casting involves use of cope and drag box. If you want to make a mold out of green sand, we have to use a cope and drag box. So this is called cope box and this is called drag box. We have to make use of a pattern for making the cavity inside the green sand mold. For casting this product, the pattern is similar to casting, but the size is little bit bigger than the cast size. So this is the pattern for making this casting. So this pattern we are going to use for making the mold out of green sand. As I already told you, the green sand molding involves use of cope and drag box. The bottom box is drag box, the top one is cope box. We have to place the pattern inside the drag box. Then we have to fill sand all around the pattern. We have to pack it properly. Then when you remove the pattern, it will leave a cavity. So that cavity is used for pouring the molten metal, which is forming the casting. After packing the sand all around the pattern, when you try to pull the pattern like this, the surrounding sand should not get disturbed. But in this case, when you try to pull out the pattern, the sand which is packed above this bigger diameter is also trying to come out. In this case, the pattern is removed. Along with the pattern, some amount of sand is also getting disturbed, and as a result, the cavity is not properly formed. So, selection of a parting line, either running along the top face or with the bottom face of the casting, is not a right choice. So, these are the wrong selection of parting line for casting this component. If you choose a parting line running along the end of the casting, we have to place the entire pattern in one of the boxes. When you try to remove the pattern, it will disturb the sand. So these are the 2 wrong selection of parting line for this casting. What is the right selection? Now let us see other possibility. Now if you choose a parting line running along the middle plane of the casting, it will result in proper removal of the pattern out of the sand. Let us see how it is possible. Now once you choose the parting line running along the middle plane, then we have to use 2 halves of the pattern. This is called split pattern. The pattern is made out of 2 halves. The isometric view of the pattern is shown here. This one half, this another half. Both are symmetrical, but you have got 2 pin on one half, you have got 2 hole on other half, and when you engage the 2 pin with the hole, both are getting aligned. Both the half of the split pattern are getting aligned properly. So when you choose a parting line like this, we have to use a split type of pattern. First, you place the this half of the split pattern onto the drag box, then fill sand all around the pattern, then pack it properly. Upon packing properly, we have to invert upside down. We have to invert the drag box upside down, and upon inverting, it will look like this. The pattern is fully packed inside the sand. Now the next step is place the other box, that's called cope box, over the drag box. Then take the other half of the pattern. You take the other half of the pattern and place it over the other half. So you can align with the help of the pin. Now the other half of the pattern is also placed. Now we have to pack sand all around the pattern, and upon ramming the sand all around the pattern, now we have to open both the halves. When you open both the half, it will look like this. In one half, the half of the pattern is held surrounded by a sand. In another half of the pattern is tightly held, okay, with the sand. What is the next step? We have to remove the pattern out of the two boxes. So from the cope box, this pattern is removed. From the drag box, this half of the pattern is removed. So when you remove the pattern out of these two boxes, the surrounding sand is not getting disturbed. You are able to remove the pattern without disturbing the surrounding sand. So selection of parting line running along this plane is the right choice, because you are able to remove the pattern without disturbing the surrounding sand. After removing the pattern out of the cope and drag boxes, the next step is to assemble them both again. So when you assemble them both again, the proper cavity is formed at the center, and of course you have to add the sprue runner gate. Those details are not shown here. So when you add the sprue runner and gate, we can pour the molten metal from the top, and the molten metal will flow through the sprue and it will reach the cavity through the runner and gate. We have to also add the riser also. Those details are not shown here. Now this is the cross-sectional view of the cope and drag box containing the necessary cavity for making the casting. So for this example, what are the possible parting line? So the possible parting lines are those which involves making the cavity without disturbing the surrounding sand when you remove the pattern. So 1 example we have just seen. So this is one of the possible parting line for this casting. Apart from 1 2 is also another possible parting line. 3 is also another possible parting line, and one more possibility is 4 running along the axis. So there are 4 possibilities in which you can choose the parting line for casting this component.